Okay, what is the difference between a recovery run and an easy run? Why do you even need to do them? If you get this right, and it is the easiest part of your running to get right, it's going to make you a faster racer, and it's going to make you a much better trainer. If you continue to get this wrong, then you'll get frustrated, you'll feel stuck in the gray zone, always tired, and maybe moving forward slowly, but not at the rate that you're capable of. When we get into distance running, whether we're training for 5K or marathon, it's easy to focus on the key sessions, the long run, the intervals, the faster sessions that are going to move us forward the most. And the reason that we think that, because it's true initially, those physiological adaptations will happen when you're running quick or when you're running far, and specifically long, much quicker than when you're running recovery runs or easy runs. But until you give those runs the respect that they deserve and run a recovery run and know how to run a recovery run right and to the right effort, and exactly the same with an easy run, you're leaving so much performance on the table, both with your racing and your key sessions. If I was to go off those generalized calculations to find my zone 2, 180 minus my age, I would be consistently overtraining at that heart rate. What is so much more accurate is going by feel. And what happens as a distance runner is you become incredibly in tune with your body. And so eventually you will know that a recovery run in zone 1 would be a perceived effort of 1 or 2 out of 10. You would know an easy run, more in zone 2, would be a perceived effort of 2 or 3 out of 10. And you would recognize all the signs that come with that. The breathing, how labored, how easy it is, and it's usually much easier than you think. And for me, the key difference between that recovery run and the easy run is often, what did we do the day before? If we've gone from a hard interval session to a recovery run, naturally, our body is going to be quite beat up. If we've done the interval session and we've stressed our body enough, but not too much to break it, but it still needs some recovery time, naturally that recovery run on the day after or the day after that is going to be a bit more tentative. It's going to be harder for you to push up into zone 2, so naturally it will become a lower effort run. For that easy run, we're a day fresher, and that recovery run purpose of making us feel fresher at the end of the run than the start of the run has delivered us to easy run day that much fresher, so that as we're setting off, and we're setting off in the same way, thinking, has that last big session soaked in? You're still checking on the body and then going, but naturally you're that much fresher so that you can be up into zone 2 for more of that easy run. And what then you're essentially doing is going from that recovery run to the next big session, the next quality session, and delivering yourself to the start line of that session fresh enough to get as much improvement, as much super compensation as you can. So it is the recovery runs and the easy runs, when done right and low effort enough, that will give you the consistency over the weeks, the months, and the entire training schedule to deliver you from high quality session to high quality session, ready to execute. Whilst at the same time, you're building that aerobic base in zone 1 and zone 2. And there are very little physiological adaptation differences between being in zone 1 and zone 2. And when you learn that, you realize that it actually is better to go slower than try and push it, because I'm trying to run an easy run faster than I want it to, or I've got to post this to Strava and I don't want it to be too slow. We've got to let the ego slide for recovery runs and easy runs, because they are the magic. They are the glue that puts together a really high quality training schedule. So here's how I would approach the week. I've done my specific long run on the Sunday. The next day is a recovery run, and I feel pretty beat up because there's lots of specific work, because I'm in marathon training from that Sunday long run. And so I'm going out there, I'm warming up, walking, light jogging, incredibly light, dynamic stretching, and then getting into a super slow, easy effort recovery run. And I'm thinking, sole purpose here is I want to be fresher at the end of this run and ready to tackle tomorrow's easy run, which I couldn't do right now because I'm still beat up from yesterday's long run. Whilst knowing at the same time, you're out there strengthening the tendons, the ligaments, you're enhancing the recovery, flushing oxygen-rich blood around the muscles. It is all good stuff. I am stopping and stretching whenever I feel I need to, because I understand the importance and the task for that day will lead me to consistency. And if I can put the consistency over 10, 12 weeks, the race result will take care of itself. And then for the easy run, naturally you feel that much fresher. And so you're going out there, you're starting the warm up in exactly the same way. I'm walking, I'm like jogging, dynamic stretching, and then getting into it. I'm starting in zone 1, super low effort, and feeling my way into the run. And what I'm looking for is throughout that run, I'm freshening up all the time. So all of a sudden, for exactly the same effort, exactly the same low effort, I'm naturally running quicker because my body is looser and fresher. And what I'm aiming at is in the last 3 to 5 minutes, gradually ramping up and then doing some strides, which will nicely deliver me from recovery run and easy run day to the next big session. My marathon pace is 3:20 per kilometer or 5:20 per mile. If I go out and do that recovery run and I see 5:30 per kilometer or 9 minutes per mile or 6 minutes towards 10 minutes per mile, I don't care one bit, because the exercise is me pushing at a certain low effort in order to achieve that purpose, which is to finish that recovery run fresher and ready for easy run day. Pace is completely unimportant across the week, but recovery runs and easy runs even less important. And what I'm also ready to do on that recovery run is chop it short. If all of a sudden you're doing super easy run, 1, 2 out of 10 perceived effort, but you're running for 2 hours, the stress on the body then is the duration. And so often those recovery runs will be 30 minutes and that's it, because I've fulfilled the purpose. If you just improve this point alone, easily it's a 10% point. And that is looking at it very basically from a racing perspective. Imagine how that works when you get the recovery runs and easy runs right, so you're delivering yourself on a weekly basis, twice a week, to those quality sessions, getting more improvement, more super compensation from those quality sessions. Imagine in a 3-month period how that raises your entire game. So you are a different athlete on that start line.